What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. We got Austin here with us today. He's back. We're about to work on this Xpress. I think this thing is actually like a 1652. I'll measure it and double check it. I'm gonna show you guys that in just a second. But the customer bought this boat originally. It was set up as like a real bass boat. It had, rod lockers and storage compartments in it. Floor, I'm pretty sure it had a side console and he's probably running like a 60 on it. Well, he decided that he didn't want to use it set up that way. He wanted to fish some of these smaller ponds and lakes, and he wanted to be lighter. So his dad ripped everything out of this boat, and they built a little deck extension up here. But now they're running a 20 horsepower Daihatsu on this thing. And the difference between the way it was set up originally and the way it's set up now is that they don't have any floor in here. They didn't really finish this thing off the way that I would finish it off, so he brought it to us. We're going to do some modifications to this thing. I'm gonna turn this camera around and show you guys exactly what we got going on. Let's get right into it. All right, so this is a 2004 Xpress V17. The boat measures 16'6", 50 inches at the floor, so it's really like a 1750. Never seen one of those. Different, but he's got a long transom on here. He has a super long motor on there. That's like an extra long motor. I think it's probably way too long for this boat, but you can see that they welded like a 2-inch piece of tubing up there so they can jack this motor up and get it a little bit higher. It's probably pretty slow, to be completely honest with you. But we have talked about doing multiple things to this. Stage build is probably going to come back. 100% sure I'll see this boat again. But the first thing we got to do is put a floor in here. Now, the original deck that was in here, it stopped right up here, right behind that seat base. And somebody put this floor in here. Now, the way this is installed is kind of weird. It's just a sheet of 1/8" aluminum. It has no structure underneath of it, and they literally just welded it to the side of the boat. You can see the burn through marks through the paint melt. Well, that's what they did. They just welded it on the sides, and they welded it to the existing deck, and it has these 2 supports in the middle. We got to take these out, because in order to get a floor in here, obviously, we're going to have to run it up underneath of where these vertical supports are, and we'll come back and put those in later. But he does have some old foam. We're going to try to dig as much of this stuff out of here as we can. We're going to pack some new foam in there, like somebody put some type of like non-skid stuff up here so they don't slip. But with these big 3 braces in here, it would be extremely hard to walk on. I mean, I can't imagine if this was my boat and I was dealing with walking on this stuff. It's an ankle breaker. So we're going to have to make some type of supports on the sides though. You see, there's nothing here. And this is like 2 inches tall. So we just run our sheet over and we have nothing for it. Well, you step on it, it's going to end up sponging down to the floor. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how to run some type of angle, build a support over here on both the port and starboard side. And then we're going to do a couple of little repairs. Got some cracks in here. We're going to weld this up, slap the floor in here, get this thing riveted down, and we'll put the supports back in the front deck. He also has one of these Baldwin Ironworks foot pedal trays for the recessed foot pedal tray. That thing is actually sick. I like that. So we're going to cut a hole for that where the foot pedal is sitting and get that thing installed too. I'm going to put you guys back on the hyperlapse and we're going to get some stuff going and then we'll circle back. Let's get back to work. All right, so while Austin is doing some prep work and demo, we're gonna go make some pieces. Now, you can see that angle right there. That's what we need to build those side pieces to catch our floor. And we're gonna weld this little 1-inch lip down to the bottom of the boat. This 1.5-inch lip is gonna come back to the side of the gunnel going up right here. We're gonna stitch weld that down the side. And I don't know if it's gonna run the whole 87 inches of the whole thing, but we'll see. But let's go check out the shop, guys. Let's go turn some stuff on. It's Sunday, so nobody's in here. It's quiet, and we should be able to film in here pretty easily. We got a lot of stuff going on in here. Everybody just pulled everything in, kind of blocked everything up, but where we're going, there shouldn't be anything in the way of the machines that we need to make this happen. Get some lights on in here. We do have an old 12-foot mechanical press brake right here. This thing has been around as long as I've been here, for 23 years. And we bought this one about 10 years ago. That's a 180-ton LVD. That's actually 13'6" across there. And we've got this 10-foot shear. This is nice. It'll cut up to like 1/8 inch steel, do about 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 aluminum. But all my metal is up in here. Hopefully I can find some drops. I don't feel like pulling some whole sheets to get these pieces, but we do need to get some more lights turned on so we can see what we're doing. And I'll put you guys on the hyperlapse while I make those pieces. But back here, we've got our burn table. It's a 5x10 plasma table. That thing's a monster. As you can see, we got some big steel up there. It'll cut up to 2-inch thick steel. It's gonna get loud. I'll turn on some of these breakers for the converters for the machines. We don't need the air compressor on them. Need some more lights. Yeah, that converter, there's 2 of them up there, and them things like to hum. They make a lot of noise. You get used to it, but it's pretty loud when I'm recording, I know that. All right, so I'm gonna try to find some metal, and then I'm gonna shear these pieces in the big shear, and put them in the brake and bend them up. Let's get back to work. All right, guys, so there's our piece, just like we drew it up. We got 1 inch here, and then we've got 1.8 inches from the top, outside to outside, and then 1.5 inches back. Now this is gonna sit just like that with the outside of the boat coming up right here. This will weld to the floor, this will weld to the side, and we'll be able to come back and shoot rivets through here. That will attach our floor down. I made 4 pieces. We should have enough. We might have to chop them up depending on the roll of that boat. I want to show y'all something real quick though. A lot of guys say that their boat doesn't have condensation building up in it. It doesn't have wet foam because they keep it inside. Well, look at this. Look at that water. You see all that water just sitting in there? Like, this is the machine. The machine is sweating, and it's literally just because we live in a humid environment. Now, all of the metal in here has condensation on it. It's humid outside. What do you think happens to your boat? This is inside. The doors are shut. It's not outside, and you know, it's not getting rained on. It's just condensation that builds up. The same thing happens to your boat when you put it inside your garage. If you live in a humid area like us, now if you live in a dry area, it might be different, but there's a lot of water just sitting on this machine, and that same water will condensate inside of the aluminum benches, and it will get right into your foam. It's food for thought. We're gonna take these pieces back over there, and let's see what Austin's got going on. So Austin's been busy. He got all this foam out of here, cleaned this up, looks good. He did repair a couple spots back here, and he cut those vertical walls out, and now we can get up in there and figure out how we're gonna do this. We got our pieces made for the floor. You can see how this is gonna work now. It's gonna mount like that. That's gonna weld here, and then on the side, we might have to take some of this stuff out of here, man. It's a pain in the butt, but it's pretty simple how that's gonna work out. That'll give us a place to catch the sheet that comes over. Now, one thing I didn't realize was that this has a gap in the center. You see that? It's about a 1/2 inch. So I got a couple pieces of this 1/4 inch aluminum. Yeah, we'll set that up there. And look, if you double stack those, well, that's pretty flat. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna run those the entire length, but we'll probably put, you know, maybe 5 or 6 of them in there like that. That way we'll have a place where we can attach our rivet. It'll keep this floor flat. We're gonna put you guys back on the hyperlapse, and we're gonna try to get this floor installed, and we'll circle back. Let's get back to work. All right, guys, so we got her done and she looks really good. The floor worked out really well. All of our pieces fit. We got them welded in here, up on the sides, and it's strong. I mean, nice, sturdy, quiet, and I think he's gonna be happy with it. I mean, it was a little bit of a pain in the butt to put those pieces in there, but you can see what we did. We put some long rivets down in there, and those go through the floor ribs. They're right where they were originally at. If you look under here, you can see that I welded it right behind that tube. I did put a plate on there. I was gonna end up thinking about putting rivets down through here, but I didn't want to put rivets through the carpet. So that worked out really well because we left like a 1-inch stub on the original vertical supports. And that was just enough for me to weld it on 3 sides, and they're strong. I mean, all the weight on it is gonna be forced downward. So as long as it keeps them from moving port to starboard, shouldn't have any issues with it. And I'm stoked that this thing's finished, man. This is a little 4-hour project. Austin and I crushed this. We did pack tons of foam up underneath it here too, and that also helps keep it quiet, adds a little flotation. Now, this foot pedal tray up here from Baldwin Ironworks is pretty dope. This is the one that has the beauty ring around it, and it has a cup holder in it, and it has a grap bridge. It's got a single grap bridge that goes over the top of the foot pedal. I'm not gonna install all that permanently because he's got all these wires up here, and now that he has his foot pedal that has a hole up in the face right here, he's gonna wanna reroute some of these wires and cables, so I'm gonna let him do that the way he wants it. But all in all, turned out to be a cool little project, and it's a quick little hit. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a nice little Xpress though. I really wish that I could have seen what this thing looks like when it was original. All right, guys, so it's a wrap. Another project in the books, another video for you guys. Austin's back, and we're about to grind. We are gonna drop video after video after video. We're ready to work, ready to get that money, get these builds out there. So I hope you guys are ready. If y'all want some, it's a good time to holler at me. We are super busy, but we're gonna be knocking these things out quick. Now, the floor in this boat, it wasn't too bad to install. I mean, it was a little bit of a pain because we had to make the pieces for the sides on the port and starboard and weld them in, but I don't like doing the floors where the ribs come up the side gunnels and you got to cut out around every single one of those ribs. Those suck. This one wasn't so bad. That's why I took on this project. A lot of times I just tell people I'm not messing with putting a floor in it unless you want to do side panels, because I don't want to cut around all those ribs in there. It just makes it a pain in the ass. But regardless, this thing's done and we're moving on to some more projects. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss this. I'll see you guys next time. Let's get back to work.